Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Bought a Mic, a podcast about Captain Clark's furniture, home goods.
Podcast about creepy pastas.
And the Wishing Willow. Is the Wishing Willow in the back rooms?
Honestly, your garage is kind of a liminal space. It's kind of like the back rooms.
Sure. It's a little creepy in here. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
I'm a fan of the reprise, the re-apex that horror is having. My name is Hunter.
And I'm Kane Parsons is 20 years old.
Hey,
Yeah.
21 now.
He's 21.
He's 21.
Yeah. That was a good meme. Just inserting that everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the two big horror movies that, Hunter, you left the country and horror just like took over by storm,
Something
the
happened.
movie world.
Well, one of those things happened before I left, but I was too busy schmoozing to actually experience it live while the initial wave that was happening.
That can't be the right word that you were looking
Schmoozing?
for. That's when you're like, that's like networking almost.
That's what I was doing when Obsession was starting to make
I thought
the
you
airwaves.
meant like in like Greece. I'm sorry.
I was at Florida
I
Film
was rubbing
Festival.
elbows with all my
Zeus.
Greek homies.
You were like vibing. Yeah, you were vibing out.
Me and Stavi were just like broing out.
We talked about Obsession when we covered the Florida Film Festival. And Drew, you said this movie's going to be big. I don't think we could have predicted how big.
No, but it
is.
It was very clear. Are we starting with Obsession? Or do you want to do back wombs?
I was thinking about starting with Backrooms.
Okay, let's start with Backrooms.
But I mean, these two movies are twinned forever.
They're twinned and they're also wildly different from one another in like every way. And so it's really fun that they're both out and they're both like smash hits right now. For like such different reasons.
And here's the thing is that this isn't like the scariest thing to happen this month. You could be a San Antonio Spurs fan too.
Brutal.
You could have been celebrating your Western Conference championship like that was the NBA Finals. Or you could be somebody who woke up at 3:45 in the morning Greek time so that you could watch Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals live as it happened, thinking that you were watching the future NBA champion.
Yeah, if you had known that like they were about to lose the finals, would you just not watch?
No, I still would have watched because I'm a sicko. And
Did you see that like people were trapped in the subway trying to get to the Knicks parade?
No, did you see people who are just like, hi, I just want to get to work and I can't leave the subway right now.
Dude,
I mean, this is
so
fucking
terrifying.
This is Zoran's New York.
Dude, I just this is great. I gotta say, as somebody who is I love the city of New York and I do not love New York sports teams, but I was fully sucked down the Knicks.
I know they're a super likable team.
Jalen Brunson is just such a dog, man. Just one of the biggest dogs we've had. OG
Cat
the tip-in.
I know you're not as like plugged in on like NBA discourse and stuff on Twitter. Cat has gotten so much shit for the last like 5+ years because people think he's gay.
Do you remember?
It's so fucked up.
That's fucked up. Do you remember when Cat got like the most like low energy 70-point game in NBA history a few years ago?
Cat get 70?
Cat put up 70 in a game on the Timberwolves, and it was in like a game that they lost by 30, and everybody like the vibes were horrendous afterwards. And
That's
people
really
were like,
awesome.
You don't want to get. He got traded not too long afterwards. I gotta look at
the last thing you want to do is get 70 in a loss.
That's what I'm saying.
That turns you're immediately a whole.
Sorry, 62. It was a 62-point game. Still, it was a game where he like went off like he was shooting amazing. He shot 14 for 17 in the first half, and then he just. Like the vibes were bad. Even the bench was not hyped for him. It was whatever the vibe was for the Bam game. It was the exact opposite for this.
So he shot 14 for 17. Kane Parsons shot movie for 20 years old.
That's good.
We just recorded a 2+ hour Disclosure Day podcast. So now this is a rowdy little follow-up episode we're giving you here. We do have a 9 a.m. tea time.
You do.
It's fine.
I don't have shit. I'm going to keep you here for all fucking night. I hope you guys do horrible without me.
Hey, listen, the scrappy scrappier I am out there, the better I play. So
actually, yeah, I've found that like when I'm like really cold or like cranky, I play way better because I'm like, fuck this, let's just get out of here.
How hot is it supposed to be tomorrow?
It's gonna get to like
Are
95.
we gonna die?
no, but if we're doing like an early tea time, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Kane Parsons is 20 years old. I'm just gonna keep resetting until we start talking about movies. So
Obsession is about to make $300 million.
We're talking about the Backrooms. You wanted to talk about the Backrooms.
Castleberry tomorrow at actually no, you know what? It's gonna be in like the low 80s at our tea time.
Because it's a morning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll be good out there. We'll be golden, baby.
Hey, Backrooms 262 total.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Worldwide, 160 domestic. It opened huge. I think it was like the biggest A24 opening of all time.
But like it doubled Civil War.
Yeah.
The Backrooms is based on a 4chan post that actually someone that I follow on Twitter made the original post like many years ago.
And it's just a picture of a empty hallway with weird wallpaper.
Yeah, it's literally just like an empty like room in like a JCPenney or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they just made a thing that was like, you got to be careful about no clipping through the walls, or else you're going to end up in the Backrooms. That was it.
And then Kane Parsons made a YouTube thing in Blender. Based off of that.
So Kane Parsons, who was like 16 at the time of the first video, using Blender, made these videos that are like really good looking. They look like found footage. They have an amount of premise to them. They're really upsetting and scary. Like a lot of lore is introduced. A lot of like monsters end up being introduced. The Backrooms in general, like it's not just Kane Parsons videos. It's like a whole internet lore thing.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah,
I haven't looked into this.
It's way wider. I was reminded of this by friend of the pod, Ivan. That like this is also like a massively popular PC game. The Backrooms, like
I have seen this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We've all seen like that game,
and the game is just
because it looks
just
like
exploring the Backrooms.
Yeah, so it looks like Doom or whatever, but it's the Backrooms. Like that's the fucking game, and it like tons of creepypasta stories, etc. Like it's not just a Kane Parsons owned entity.
There's lore.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore, and I think that the movie very smartly sort of steers clear of, becoming focused on that. Kane Parsons was, by A24 was given the green light to like, this wasn't like here's $1 million, make a movie. Like it's what, $10-15 million budget?
I think
a little bit more than that. I mean, you've got Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I think it's like 15.
Renate Reinsve.
Yeah, I mean,
10.
I think it's about 10 mil.
So that's that. Yeah, exactly.
They trusted in this being something. It was definitely
they were like, and he's a child. Obviously, a lot of discourse has been had because people like Osgood Perkins were brought on as producers and were like very present on set.
James Wan.
James Wan and Perkins.
Wan apparently was brought in like more in post. I think Osgood Perkins is one that was more present.
And that's been brought up a lot as a way to sort of discredit Kane Parsons, really unfairly, it feels like, from like having a vision and like making this movie, because like when you're the director of the movie, it would be pretty difficult to not be the one mostly responsible for the movie.
This movie is insanely
unless this is the Poltergeist
well,
and Steven Spielberg actually shadow directed it.
This movie's insanely well directed.
No,
it's so fucking cool.
He has vision. He is. So this is the biggest thing to take away from the movie, I think. Kane Parsons,
he's got the juice.
He has the visual and the vibe juice more than any young filmmaker I can think of. Like it is.
Yeah, for a debut. I mean, this thing.
It
rocks.
looks and feels like special. It's unique. It's cool. It expands upon the idea without like doing too much. It utilizes the budget, to like build a fuckload of sets, turn the Blender stuff into real stuff. And I don't know. He has a gift as someone that young. If you listen to him in interviews, I have no doubt that he directed the shit out of the movie. He is so smart.
He's been directing.
He's very smart and very thoughtful. Like he's very measured in his responses to questions where you're like, yeah, this guy is a brain.
Yeah.
It's a cool fucking movie. I think there are a lot of issues you could definitely have with it. I think when it comes to story and characterization, it's like really brutal at points.
Yeah,
in a way that like really derails like big chunks of the movie where you're like, oh no, this is not working.
I would even go so far as to say that like this movie is, whenever it is just like the pure direction as like a visual art form is when it's at its peak, and the moment that it becomes a movie, it kind of falls apart and is a goddamn mess. Is where I'm kind of at with this. I'm not a person who like thinks that this movie is like the whole thing is a mess or anything like that. There's been, of course, because, you know, anytime you have something that is like this big hit, you then have all the hit pieces that are coming in after it that are trying to kind of take it down a peg. And I still am like, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This is currently in my top 10 of the year as of June 18th. But like, I don't think it will end up there because
it's very flawed.
It's like it doesn't really work as a movie, and it honestly, I think the performances are kind of bad in it, even for my girl Renate Reinsve, who I love in everything. But like, there aren't really characters in this movie. Like they don't really exist. They all serve the purpose of just like the look and the vibe and the feel of this movie, and all of that stuff is incredible. Yeah. This is some of the best production design I can remember in any movie in the last like 10 years.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the strength. If if we want to start with, to get the worst stuff out of the way, I think you're really right. Like Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renate Reinsve are like, it's not just like, oh, you got a pretty good cast. Those are two of the better actors in the world.
Yeah.
And I think you could argue that both of them are like around their worst in this movie, where like it feels hollow.
I mean, it's the script.
No, that's what I'm saying. I also do think, like, for all the compliments we're going to give to Kane Parsons, this isn't a guy who's directed actors.
Yeah. You can kind of tell. It's extremely inconsistent.
When two characters are interacting, it doesn't feel like they're being given enough to understand how to feel about each other as characters.
Yeah.
And that's because this is a kid who, for all the great things he did right, he hasn't directed actors. It's just rare that someone is given this amount of playground who lacks such a very specific, important experience in the directing realm.
One of like the most basic things whenever you're learning as a director.
Yeah, like, and that also makes it all the more impressive that he's able to make something really compelling out of all this. You know what I mean? But it's just like, he'll figure all that out. I have no doubt. You know what I mean? It's just in this movie, it feels like that is missing.
There's a gentleman by the name of Will Soodik, also known as William Brommel, who gets sole screenwriter credit on this film. So Kane Parsons doesn't even get any screenplay credit. He gets based on Backrooms by Kane Parsons.
Yeah. And this was, I think Soodik was also the second person who was given this.
To kind of babysit a little bit?
No, like there was someone else and it wasn't working out.
I think Kane passed.
Yeah, I think Kane has said this. Like it wasn't working with the first person, so then it went to this guy.
I mean, I'd be curious to see the version that is just written and directed by Kane Parsons.
Well,
like, how much different is that?
Kane has been he's another great thing about him is he's like really, really open in interviews. Because he understands he's in a position where like he's going to get to make a lot more shit regardless of if he says too much. Yeah, he said that like he does not like, there are things about this movie he doesn't like. He doesn't like the script very much. He doesn't like, he didn't feel like, especially early in the process when the script was written, he didn't have as much power as he had by the end of it to like change things. So he's not in love with that. There are certain, the more traditional elements of the movie, he has said that he doesn't love some of the more jump scary things in the movie. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm so excited about this kid. You know what I mean? Like he already is telling you that like the things in this movie that don't work, like he's like, yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of that part.
And also, I mean, maybe he isn't gonna be a writer. Like most of our favorite directors, like they aren't also writers.
That's true.
You got to trust like that they're gonna become better talent evaluators.
That's exactly it, because it's already been announced that they are searching for a new writer for the second Backrooms, and that's not Kane, but it's also not this guy. So you're right.
And I'm in on that. Like I just think that so much of this movie it sinks or it swims based on the aesthetic. And that is like what this movie gets so fucking right. I had to find his name. Danny Vermette, who is the production designer behind this. He does work like on all the Osgood Perkins things. He was a production designer on Longlegs, which is another movie that has like really, really incredible production design. I think I shouted out on our end of the year pod back in 2024.
Also similar flaws in that movie.
Yeah. Like the script is kind of underbaked at many points.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah, but it just looks incredible.
It looks
great.
great.
And the vibe is just fucking scary.
The cinematographer of Backrooms, Jeremy Cox, like I think that this is a movie that it could become a little bit too much like style over substance. And, you know, in a lot of ways, this movie kind of is more style over substance, but like it never becomes stale is the thing that I would say about this. Like, it's not something where you're like, you would think we're just spending this time in the back rooms. That's the most interesting part. It all just is like the same wallpaper and you're going down hallways, liminal spaces, whatever. But like, it's interesting every time you're there. And I don't know if we want to get into it now, but there's one sequence in this movie.
The Texas Chainsaw.
That is the on the camera sequence.
Oh, the POV. Yeah.
The POV sequence that I think is that might be my favorite scene in any movie this year. Like, I think that shit was like gripping. I saw this movie on opening weekend. Like right whenever I got back in town for my trip, it was playing there. Or I guess, yeah. So it was that next week. Sold out pack showing, and people walked out, and like I heard people hooting and hollering, and I heard a woman be like, I can't, I gotta go. Like it was like younger people that were like not ready for it. And it kind of gave me flashbacks to like us sneaking into Paranormal Activity, like when we were way too young and just being like, I shouldn't be seeing this. This is like fucking me up and I'm not ready for this.
Kind of thing.
And that's it is really, really effective horror storytelling.
That's one of those things that I wish we had a friend of the pod. Shit, what's his name? Like damn it. Now we got to cut this. I'm sorry. The found footage guy.
Oh, Marcel.
I wish we had friend of the pod, Marcel, on, because he is a found footage like expert and lover. I genuinely, it's one of those things that almost, I feel like a lot of directors think like, yeah, but look at all this other shit I can do. Found footage works every time I fucking see it. It is so much scarier
very creepy.
than normal horror, because you have less information, you have less data to look at. All you have is the perspective of, you know, a real quote unquote camera. It's lower quality. That is scarier than high quality. And yet I don't know. I just think directors want to prove that they can use all the tools at their disposal or whatever. But yeah, it works way better when it's like that.
The original series is pretty much all that. And so in this movie, we tack on a ton of other more traditional types of filmmaking. And that's what you guys are saying. I totally agree. That's when the movie is the weakest, when it just kind of has to kind of scaffold on like a more traditional movie over what Kane had been doing on YouTube, on Blender, right? The way that this movie sort of does the thing that the YouTube series does with a much bigger budget and a bigger canvas is by far the best stuff. That this sequence that you're describing of when the Chiwetel character Clark brings these two kids into the back rooms with the camera, it evokes something so different that is so hard to put your finger on it, because the whole thing with the back rooms is that like it really leans into that idea of there's something around the corner, right? Of you're kind of going through these hallways and you've been trained to feel scared because something's going to jump out and scare you. Nothing ever really does.
It's a slow build.
There's these moments where you feel like your tension doesn't have that release that you want out of a horror movie. And it's sort of, it weaponizes that against you, where it just makes you sit in that tension of, we are never going to give you that release. We're going to build and build and build on the tension in a way that, again, is like very unique, because these are mostly very brightly lit hallways, the liminal spaces. We're never really seeing any type of movement. You know, there's things there, there's items, there's different combinations of doorways and hallways and objects, but we're never really seeing movement. Every once in a while, though, he'll throw something in, And this movie opens with like basically a found footage sequence that does kind of throw that movement in. But that idea of like kind of withholding the release is extremely effective. But that's not even my favorite scene. And I don't know if we want to jump around, but like my favorite scene is basically the Texas Chainsaw Massacre homage.
Oh yeah.
That happens in this.
We gotta wait for that. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. How do we want to do this?
Well, let's just add a little bit of context. So the Chiwetel character owns this furniture store. He's an alcoholic. He's an architect. He wants to be an architect. He's struggling. It's revealed that like his wife has kicked him out, that he's living in the furniture store. And he's seeing this therapist played by Renate Reinsve. And slowly throughout the movie, we discovered that she has her own sort of demons that she's struggling with. Her mom had some kind of mental illness, agoraphobia, forced her to be inside.
It's been speculated that her mom had like seen the Backrooms,
Sure.
Yeah,
Why not?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
I guess.
That's exactly the right reaction. Why not?
And the movie does a really good job, I think, of kind of just not really fucking around with too much nonsense and just like we just want to get to the backrooms.
That's the thing is
just get to the backrooms.
And that's where I think Kane has a good sort of instinct where he's like, we're obviously like, if I'm giving all this money, like I'm gonna
do the thing.
Well, I'm gonna have to shoot some stuff that's like a normal movie for sure. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to go widescreen and like full quality, blah, 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 and have characters, like, you know what I mean? You just have to, but you can keep it relatively threadbare. This is a little too threadbare, definitely. Like to the point where like, you don't empathize with either of these people at all.
No.
But it does enough to establish what is eventually becomes very evident, which is that like this is an architect intersecting with a psychologist, and that's what the Backrooms are. Is
great read.
Yeah, the Backrooms are an architectural sort of rendering of a man's brain. Like that's all you need to know. It's also the idea that this, that initial image is one thing in like the liminal space thing. Obviously that lends itself toward being set in the 90s because it's like a very sort of yellow fluorescent lights, carpeted rooms,
furniture store in general.
Yeah, in the furniture store, but also like the general feel of the Backrooms. Like if you've ever worked in a mall, this is all very like you can still find this exact look in modern America, but like it's stuff that was built in the 90s. Yeah. So that makes sense to set it in the 90s. Not all of the 90s production design and like the real life stuff is like 100% accurate to me, but whatever.
Well, there's like thematic layers you can add to that. It's like
totally.
What are the Backrooms? They explicitly say that they are a representation of the mind, right? That they are the mind, the world remembering itself, obviously the trauma of these characters.
It's like layers of memories. The one shot that's like unbelievable is the one,
that keeps going down.
Yeah, keeps going down and
down.
That's a really cool shot.
Yeah, so there's all
also,
that,
but it's also like, there's so many other things you could layer on. It's a representation of life on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And how things get sort of diluted, how information sort of loses its focus.
You know what the energy of this movie is just like the flip side of the coin of every time that you're on like TikTok and you get the like that, like the like nostalgia core of like take me back, and it's like people with like the Windows XP desktop and like Halloween used to look like this, like that kind of core.
It's that
nostalgia core.
It's also just the notion of like a post-capitalism society and how these spaces lose their meaning as they become abandoned.
There's that. There's also a pretty substantial AI read on the movie that roommate of the pod, Nat, actually pointed out after we watched it, particularly with the way that toward the end, like faces are depicted as like,
Right.
sort of jumbled up, mixed, like multiple sets of eyes, stuff like that, where it's like, she said like, this is like when, those things where you ask an AI to recreate an image 50 times.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Because that's literally what the backrooms are. It's like, it's like if you recreate reality, like 10 layers deep. Anyway.
Well, and that way, like that is something where it's people have equated AI to like AI image generation. I should be specific with that. Of like, it's almost like memory. It's jogging on memories, but it's almost like foggy memories.
It's memories it doesn't actually have.
Exactly.
So more so than that, though, the idea that have you guys watched like the original videos?
I watched the first one. I haven't like done the full.
I've seen some of them like just scattered throughout the years, but
I've heard that he has like another series that's set in like a different
I haven't
chronology
seen that.
That's supposed to be amazing.
The initial Backrooms videos are really, really effective, really compelling. And the fact that they're all made in Blender and then put through like the filter of a camcorder, that is the biggest sort of weapon of the aesthetic of this movie, because it points toward the video game origin of this idea. The original 4chan post mentioned no clipping through walls. That's a video game concept. There were,
so it's specifically like when you have an asset, like an object that sits in what's called like a bounding box, right? So it's like imagine like an invisible cube that surrounds the object. The edge of that invisible cube is always supposed to be touching the edge of whatever surface it's sitting on. What you're describing, the no clipping, is like when that doesn't happen, when the object like falls through.
Yeah,
partially.
And this was and this is this is sort of like an Easter egg thing from like almost every video game ever before. Like
an error.
Now it doesn't happen so much, but like I remember when I was playing like Call of Duty 4, there were certain maps, like even in multiplayer, that you could clip through the walls and then end up like underneath the map, partially through the map with your torso sticking up. This is all stuff that is very clearly depicted in the movie.
I did this in the Wii version of Call of Duty World at War, where you could get under the map and you wouldn't fall through. You could there was like an invisible floor, and you could shoot people through.
Yes, no, that exactly. You would go through the walls and stuff, and then you could kill people, and they didn't know where you were. I was deep into like the hacks community, and I remember my friend telling me like, dude, I wish we played on Wii because you can fuck up shit on the Wii.
It's poorly made.
Yeah, it's like horrible.
They did not put any thought into this.
But that sort of belays like the genius of Kane and the economic nature of like how this movie looks, because in Blender it's entirely based on what is like relatively easy to depict but also very unsettling. That's what the Backrooms is as a concept. That's like the whole reasoning behind making it look exactly like this. What can you make that is like really simple but also upsetting for a reason you can't really? So like in Blender, you can like make like a room that is just like flat walls relatively easily. And then there are like assets that are generated on Blender that you can just like pull from a library. And so it's like, okay, well, a chair just sitting on the ground isn't necessarily upsetting. What if there was a fucking pile of them in the middle of a room? For some reason, that's affecting.
Yeah.
That affects us because we want to know why it's like that. Right. And the other big piece of it is architecture. Like you can make it in Blender very easily so that like it's almost like the Willy Wonka thing where like the shrinking hallway. You can do that really easily. You can just make rooms and architecture the same way that Kubrick did in fucking The Shining.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. And this takes that to like the very end of its possibility.
You're seeing like crazy shit.
Nothing. Yeah,
it's the ultimate playing with perspective.
Yeah, none of the architecture makes sense, and it is just like profoundly upsetting to look at. And you can't quite put your finger on why, but that's why I think this guy is so special, because like he was 16 and he was able to put his finger on all that. He was able to figure out, I have a computer program here. How can I make it so that once I put it through camcorder, it looks very real and it looks very upsetting. Even before, at the very end of the video, you might get introduced to a monster, but before that, you're upset. And you don't know why.
And he also came up with a whole lore. There's an entire story here. Like everything we find out with the Mark Duplass character, that is all based in a story with like a fully fledged cast of characters that we don't even meet in this movie. And he says that all exists in the continuity of this film. So he's barely scratched the surface. And that's honestly kind of like a savvy like business decision, is to be like, I'm not going to blow the whole thing on this one. Like, I know that I've got something and I'm going to save it. I'm just going to give you a tiny little peek.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think, yes, that is true. And that's smart for him, knowing that this is something.
It does feel a little incomplete.
I do also think that is kind of at the detriment of the movie, is like, what is the Mark Duplass character?
Right.
That's nothing. Like, as much as our two leads are not real characters, the Mark Duplass character like might as well.
The movie just ends and you're like, oh, I mean,
this is
I'm not going to find
neat,
out anything.
I guess. Cool. It's all about the vibe, because it is so affecting. Like, that is what draws me to this movie. It's not anything with the lore. To be honest, I don't really give a shit about the lore just from this movie alone. I care more about it because of like knowing that there is something more and like having more of an interest to dive deeper. But this movie alone does not make me interested in the lore. And I think that is a reason why, if I'm to kind of guess why this movie might have had this big giant opening weekend and is really suffered in the subsequent weeks, is because of that. Because obviously this Backrooms as an idea, as a franchise, as a piece of IP, has a giant fan base that is going to flock and go on week one.
And they did.
But then it's like, okay, now what? Like, what else do I do with this? And that isn't a detriment to Kane, like, as a visual filmmaker, because I think like he obviously has some kind of juice. But there is a little bit of like okay, you can make something look really sick and cool, and that can bring a certain amount of people out. But like, now that you have the carrot here, like, what do you have? What's at the end of the stick? Like, what are you luring us in for?
I totally agree with you. I think the reason I'm so interested in this movie is because I think this is as good as a movie can be while having a straight up bad script.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be better than this. Like, this is the best example I can think of. And
if we're doing like the trilogy of like, you need good acting, good directing, good script, one of them is a fucking loss.
And
and
the reason I'm so interested in Parsons is because I also think that's pretty true with the Osgood Perkins movie.
Long Legs.
I think that's true with Long Legs too. I think Long Legs has an awful script, and I think it coasts on really cool vibe and really cool direction. I think that script is atrocious. The problem is he also wrote that script, the director. And so like with Osgood Perkins, we're seeing this in real time because he directs a shitload of stuff. We're seeing a ceiling with the guy because like if he's writing his own stuff and he's not that good at it, then like there's a problem.
Yeah.
If this guy is willing to not write his own stuff, if he's good enough at acquiring talent, his ceiling is fucking limitless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back to like just the movie itself. It's not super compelling, you know, getting into the David Oyelowo character or the shit.
Chiwetel.
And delete that. The Chiwetel character, and then in particular the Renate character, because we love her so fucking much.
Yeah.
And it is never really explained why she has a fucking accent, despite being like born and raised in California.
Because she's Norwegian.
I know, it's just like that's
she just doesn't have a California accent.
Just like, you have $10 million, just make it so she's born in another country. You know, that's like bad. That is really bad. She can't be foreign.
Yeah, she is like a
name
child.
Another movie where that's the case.
She's a child in California. Her
mom's American. That's awful.
Maybe her trauma was so bad that it fucked up.
It gave her a Norwegian accent.
Have you ever seen that British lady who like had a stroke and she came out with a Chinese accent? Maybe it's like that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
All people who are born with parents who are hoarders have like Northern European accents.
Well, maybe this is the theory of her mom being in the Backrooms. Maybe she started out in Norway, then went in the Backrooms, and then ended up in California, and that's why she went crazy.
Okay, never mind. That's clearly right.
That's a great.
Wow.
Come on,
Kane, are you listening?
You're such a freaking genius right now.
Yeah. We'll take a third each of the cut to screen rate your next one.
I mean, what if, bro? bro, what if we are in the freaking back rooms right now?
I know.
What if
dude, it's literally,
whoa.
This is honestly like,
dude, me when I'm driving an I-4 and I'm like, this is a fucking liminal space right now.
We are always in there.
It's really a benefit and a detriment of the movie that like anytime now that you're in a hallway, you're like, this is like the freaking backrooms. It really sucks.
I mean, when I got home,
I can't stop doing it.
When I got home, Lee wasn't here. And I was walking around the house and I was like, damn, my house is fucking creepy as shit.
You see like a chair
Your
just sitting
own
out
house, you're like, this is like the freaking backrooms.
I'm scared.
Your dogs are like, feed me. You're like, this shit is womenal. It's true though. Like it's tapping into like a very familiar yet not like space. You know what I mean? So you're right.
So I think it's a cool idea that, you know, he just finds the portal to the back rooms in the store. Like, that's it. You know, we don't overcomplicate it. We get these extended sequences of him exploring it. Shit goes down with the kids. And then we hard cut to the Renate character going in to search for him. She goes in, she finds him in there. And this part of the movie kind of bothered me a lot because it felt like we were fucking cooking with this sequence of the POV VHS camera.
I know. The movie's like the movie's on fire.
Yeah.
We're yanked out of that. And we're placed and I don't mind like the movie deciding that now it's going to follow the Renate character. Like, that's fine. But the fact that like we're so abruptly taken out of what might be the best part of the movie, and then by the time we loop back to catch up again, it feels like we missed a lot.
Oh,
like
we definitely did.
The Chiwetel character is just like very different, and we kind of missed an entire section of character development that's just removed from the movie.
So we'll talk about this with Obsession as well. I think this is just generally a symptom of what happens when a young filmmaker making their first feature is used to making shorter stuff.
Yeah.
Is you making a feature length thing, you have to figure out how to use 90 minutes, you know, it's really two things at its core. You have to figure out how to create a crescendo scene by scene where like every scene matters and builds upon the last one. And then B, not have redundant stuff. And I think both movies struggle with that in their own ways. That in particular, that sequence struggles with redundancy really badly because the way that it is paced out when Renate discovers the back rooms,
it's the exact same thing.
It is
what we just saw.
We just saw Chiwetel do the same thing. And it's not like we care about her more than Chiwetel. They're both like pretty weak characters. So we are watching her come to the exact same discovery and realization. It doesn't hit for us. It feels like a waste of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
When there's way more interesting shit, like you're saying, Ernest, going on inside there that we're totally missing out on.
Yeah. And so by the time we catch up, I mean, it's like, it's cool that we're back, but it does feel like we missed something. But then the movie takes a turn where it's quickly revealed that the Chiwetel character is like unwell.
Yeah.
Right. And it's been heavily hinted like during the therapy sequences that he's clearly not well.
Yeah. He's an alcoholic. And yeah.
But the movie is just like, all right, we're going to like freaking do a hard left turn. And he's just the villain of the movie now. Like, he's just gonna grab her and choke her out, and that's just what we're doing. And it did feel a little bit rushed and a little bit kind of out of nowhere, but I went with it and I was like, okay, if this is what we're doing, let's just do it.
Because it's good. It's just the context is wrong, but it's good filmmaking.
And that's when we get the sort of the elevator shot, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as she gets choked out and she passes out, it's a really cool visual idea to essentially put you in her perspective of what she's possibly seeing as she's falling asleep. And it's the room that she was locked in as a child slowly turning into the back rooms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like layer by layer deteriorating. I guess it's the back rooms remembering that room that she was in as a child.
Yeah. And, you know, Chiwetel eventually says that. basically. He's like,
does he? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he
he just basically
enunciates
says
it.
like, this is a memory. This place is a memory of a memory or whatever.
But the visualization of it is really cool because
It's fucking stunning, man.
It just makes you think like, oh, wait a second. So if she's in her room now in the back rooms, that means she's in every room. I think he does say that at some point. There's like, this is every room. Every room ever.
And again, as a discredit to the script, it's saying the part that visually, like we saw that.
Kane just did a really good job actually of telling us that.
I didn't need you to just say that now. Like we don't need to do this again.
In I think it was his interview with Fennessy. Did you guys listen to that?
No, I haven't gotten to that one.
It's really cool because you can just tell he's unencumbered by like being told what to say, or he doesn't care. And he's like, I did not have leverage early enough in this process. And like by the end of it, I had so much leverage. You know what I mean? And this movie feels a lot like that. It feels like
learning process.
Like by the time he had his hands on it, he was like, oh, I'll tell it through this shot.
Yeah.
You know, but there was already this script that he just had to deal with.
And he's a Blender expert. So he's like, I don't need a script. I'll just do it in Blender.
Yeah.
I'll just do the thing that I need to do without the writer.
Well, and you know, a lot of young filmmakers, even before like doing making the official movie, like I think that Curry did this for Obsession too. They render it in software. They render every shot, every scene. And so you don't need this entire crew to sort of develop the art.
Well, it's like a new form of shot listing.
Yeah,
for like the modern generation.
Yeah,
if you grew up with this tech.
I think that particularly with Kane, I think that's what he's sort of bumping up against is like the need to run everything by a giant department when like
just do it.
He can render exactly what he wants it to look like.
Right.
And it'll probably be the final shot in the film.
Yeah, and so I just feel like the next one of these movies is going to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with that wholly.
Yeah.
100%.
So then we get what I'm calling the Texas Chainsaw scene, which it gave me this feeling that I chase of like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going to happen.
The way that guy looks.
This is crazy. So they're sitting at this dining table and Renate's like tied up, just like in Texas Chainsaw. And Chiwetel is on the other side. And then there's these other like people, like figures. He has a term for them. Is it said in the film?
I think it's Floops Fooglies.
Yeah. They're also in the room. And it's just so like it has to be a Texas Chainsaw homage. Like the way that these figures are like styled and positioned in the room, and just the way the scene is framed and shot, it's almost exactly the same. It blew me away.
It's super upsetting.
Yeah. And you're drawn into just how eerie it is. And this floob guy has like 5 eyes and is not moving. The lady in the corner has like 4 faces all running into each other. The little guy in the corner
is almost
with the
like
lamp,
cowering. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so unsettling. And he doesn't stop there. He then has Chiwetel like grab a chunk out of this guy that looks like sticky rice. And it starts talking about how like you can eat these people and that they don't do anything if you stab them in the neck.
Yeah, it's like, how long have you been down here, brother?
It's nuts.
He's like, for like a day and a half.
I started like levitating a little bit during this scene because I'm like, this is incredible. This is like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. This is fucking awesome.
Dude, exactly. When this movie starts fucking flying, it's like, I don't know if I've seen much stuff better than this. But like, it's really crazy.
But then it turns into like doo-doo. With him like talking about his like just saying all of his like trauma.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's the thing.
In the same scene, you have the best thing ever and the worst thing
and
ever.
that's what I was going to say about like why you just kind of beat me to of like what is the knock on the scene is because what you're describing right there of like what we are seeing from the camera on the screen is incredible looking. And then they open their mouths. Yeah. Then it's just like, that's kind of sucks again.
But then by the end of the scene, it kind of wins you back, at least for me, because Chiwetel's an amazing actor. And even if he's working with a junky, shitty script, he's able to land this emotional beat at the end of this scene, this terrible dialogue that he goes through. He has this moment where it's like this emotional breakthrough of realizing like, I belong here. I don't want to change. I don't want to be better. And I'm actually going to have this giant version of myself just chomp me in the neck. And that's what I want.
I guess I didn't feel emotional resonance in that scene.
Well,
just
it's not like I'm crying, but I'm appreciating the performance.
I mean, Chiwetel Ejiofor he rocks. I did want to shout out Pirate Clark, our guy Robert Bobrovsky
from Alien Romulus.
Yeah, he's the alien from Alien Romulus in that damn suit. That is like really, really cool visualization of like the Clark character, but also the like going through like 6 different filters of him in the pirate costume. That I just thought was really cool and inventive. And that whole like
so cool
chase scene that is happening right there is just really upsetting and really effective. Yeah. And it comes out of that sequence that I do think starts good, but ends really, really clunky for me. But then we kind of get going with the action again, and I'm bought back in.
Exactly.
I'm bought back in.
And we skated past. I think I interrupted you, Ernest, but like the sequence where he brings the 2 people down with the camera. That's another great example of this. His 2 employees are like not characters. Like they're nothing.
They're just there to die.
But that sequence is
they are the most they are there to die characters I can remember in a movie.
Yeah, there's just nothing about them.
The scene of the camera in that underneath area with all the damp clothes.
Exactly. When they slide down that, and again, that speaks to the weird geometry where it's just like, I don't know why, but I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
and when they slide down there, there's all the clothes. There's the guy's shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not really
backwards.
The end apartheid shirt.
Yeah.
Really, it's just like, why? We don't know.
Yeah.
I like not knowing. And then
apparently he has lore to explain.
And there's also a head sticking out of the pile of clothes.
It's the caveman.
No, exactly.
The
just
cardboard
like
cutout.
That just like over and over that he just keeps on not noticing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my, I'm gonna kill myself. It is phenomenal shit. And then there's the whole sequence where, you know, we're just sort of exploring the area.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever been hoodlums before in your youth.
First of all, you literally know us.
Yeah, you knew that I was a little rascal. So
just putting the question out there.
We were hoodlums together.
Yeah.
If you've ever done hoodlum shit and you've been in like some rooms walking around dark night where you're not supposed to be, and then there's nobody there.
What is he?
You're just seeing like these spaces.
Remember Ernest would like do a bunch of B&Es as a kid? Just like going to people's houses.
It can be the most unsettling, creepy shit ever.
What are you doing? Wait, what are you talking about?
I've broken into my fair share of abandoned houses in my youth, and there's a little bit of that same
abandoned.
Like
exactly, abandoned.
I shouldn't be in here.
Abandoned places. Yes, there's this whole.
You feel like you're intruding.
There's this liminal space thing of like, if you're just looking around a room where it's literally just a room, but you know you're not supposed to be there. It's the most creepy thing in the world, and this movie like taps into that, ratchets it all the way up. That scene with the damp clothes, like there's a shot, I think when it kind of pans over to the left and you see that the room just sort of keeps going, but it's completely shrouded in darkness. That for some reason that just really got me.
It's really terrifying. Like I get why people in my theater were like freaking the fuck out at that moment because that is like really, really, really effective horror storytelling. And that is like, if there's something that I can like pass along as just like a lowly podcaster to Kane, I want him to focus on that and not so much in some of the interviews and stuff, how he keeps harping back on like, well, there's lore for that. There's lore for that. What I don't want him to fall into is feeling a need to, I don't want to say over explain himself, but feel the need to like almost have to over justify everything that he's doing with like some kind of piece of lore or something like that. Because at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit about the lore. Like that's all secondary, tertiary to like how it makes me feel. And you got it right with how you made me feel. Now make a whole movie that just keeps me in that space.
Yep. So he also has said, by the way, that he did not, it's not just for the purpose of making sequels. Like he just doesn't care to overwhelm the audience with lore. Like he didn't come up with all the lore, first of all.
Yeah.
It's just like this is like an open source project that has so much information involved, but he understands that like that side of it isn't as important. And so I have faith that like he'll get there. The back to like toward the end, when all of the pieces of the Backrooms that Renate explores, where like we get really different looking shit. We get the Christmas room.
Oh my god! Well, no, that's during the
chase scene. Yeah, or no? Oh, is that during
the Christmas room? Is during the handheld.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, is that not her?
That's the POV. No. That's the POV section.
The
shit
kids.
is so fucking creepy.
The Christmas room,
really upsetting.
There's those like mannequin looking things coming out of the floor.
There's that.
You get the like bathroom, kind of the tile floors and everything.
Yeah, that like
dude,
with the pool.
So
that scene was like that whole sequence is just
and then there's just like an open like city looking thing, you know.
That's the Renate bit at the end. Yeah.
And that is again, I mean that's like a Blender type thing where it's just like you can just make anything down there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's so creative, and I don't know, it just points toward like that. I think that exact thing is in one of the videos. Yeah. And it's just so like, oh my God, there's no limit to what could be down there. Yeah. It's just like
endless.
It gets your imagination going. It's really cool. Love the look of the Victor Wembanyama guy with the pirate hat.
Yeah. Did you like that he was like stepping in her landing area and like didn't get called for like a fifth flagrant?
He threw an elbow.
Yeah.
he threw. She was grabbing him though. She was grabbing him and he got mad.
She was instigating. Yeah.
But he lost 5.
The movie decides that it has to be like even more sort of movie and heavy-handed and be like, okay, she's going to use the symbol of her trauma to defeat the monster, and then she'll be able to escape the back rooms.
God, and that's
so the little hand
that blows thing. Like so bad.
I just like that's why this movie is so frustrating, because it like teeters on like true greatness, like true like top tier greatness. And it can't get out of its own way because of a terrible script.
Yeah, but the thing, I don't know, like we haven't even talked about the sound design yet. And I also,
oh my God, yeah,
like I think that this has some of the most effective sound, like scary and just like sort of textured sounds that I've ever heard in a movie. Like it's genuinely that up there. It's innovative. It sounds cool. So there. I don't know. Well, like comparing Backrooms and Obsession is funny because it's really a tale of two vastly different ways to make a movie.
Once again, it's another one of the Osgood Perkins guy. It's Eugenio Battaglia.
Wow.
Who did
the score has like that really great thing where it just melds with like being ambient noise. The whole movie has like the sound of fluorescent lights in the background, which is really upsetting. But like but like the notes
buzz.
The score is warped. Like it's like they have it on a knob on a Korg machine and they're just like flipping it back and forth. It's awesome.
He's fucking good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that stuff is so unbelievably fresh sounding, and it's not in a way of like in Obsession when they're playing just straight up songs from TikTok, which I found, kind of cheesy. Like this is innovative stuff, and so like I don't know. Like I'm saying, it's just two different ways to get to a place. Well, by like making a good movie as a super young person, where one Obsession is just like really straightforwardly good, like front to back. Backrooms has pieces of it that are like the best shit I've ever seen in my whole life, and then pieces that are not good.
Yeah, that are kind of doo-doo.
Yeah, so really,
it's just
really
Obsession is just like
not even not good. Like it's fucking awful.
I know, but like also not even good. Like the best. Like I genuinely feel that way visually and auditorily. Like it has like a sauce that I haven't seen in years, and so it's just like it's like an EKG versus just like a straight line.
Right. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Obsession.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to end the pod soon. I don't know how much time we have, but I did want to give you the floor, Hunter, because you haven't had a chance to talk about it. Drew and I saw it at the Florida Film Festival. We did a little episode on it with Marcel, and you hadn't seen it then, but you've seen it now. So tell us what you thought.
I had not. I've since gone back and listened to your guys' little segment that you did. Great job, boys.
That's already rude calling it a little segment.
Really, really great job by me at just like reacting at the information.
Well, you wanted to be with the people, you know.
Look, I'm a man of the people. What can I say?
You wanted to make sure that it was good first.
I will say, I think you two in particular kind of no-selled me on this movie because I went in.
We both said we liked it.
A little bit more tempered expectations. You guys both said that you liked it. I fucking love this movie. This movie is like firmly in my top 5 of the year so far. And it is.
That's how the people be feeling.
It might end up being in my top 10 of the year. We'll see how the year shakes out so far. I know it is interesting kind of comparing this room and Backrooms together, but like where I do think that like obviously Kane Parsons is has his own very unique and kind of showy craft that he's doing, where he's doing something that is very unique. Curry Barker just kind of like he feels like a pro. Like he kind of is stepping in like a 10-year vet. Like he is just coming in right now, and it's like, are you sure that he hasn't just been shadow making A24 horror movies or Blumhouse horror movies for the last few years? Because
and I know
so smartly made. I want to talk about the performances in a little bit because Inde Navarrette might be my performance of the year so far and what she is giving. But even just like the story that is there, it is very like base level, but is the type of thing that I love in horror in particular that is unique to the horror genre, which is just like if you have a good premise and you have like the right pieces around it, it doesn't matter how basic it is. It just sings, man. Like unlike any other genre where it's like, I don't need anything more. I'm just like happy and I'm on a ride here. And I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for something to happen. And this movie just works. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I know. Like even being lower on it than you are, like it's just such like a fastball down the middle of a movie. And it also, it deserves to be mentioned that this movie was made for far less money than Backrooms. This is less than $1 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like
it was made for a couple $100,000.
Yeah, it's like a tiny. That's like absolutely nothing. And there's been like weird, stupid discourse about how like all the people who made it made like no money, and it's like, yeah, that's unfortunately. I have crazy news about movies. I have crazy news about movies that actually make it are like have huge budgets. Those people still don't make that much money.
Wait till you learn about the record industry and the music industry.
Yeah. Anyway, it's so straightforwardly good. That's why like we were saying this is going to be a huge movie, or I did. Like it was just so obvious that like this is going to connect so hard.
Yeah.
It just works.
I mean, I think that the main reason why it works is, again, and I know everybody has harped on her performance, but Inde Navarrette's, is it Navarrette? Is that the right? I'm not positive.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. I think that it's like, it is like a one-of-one performance that I have not seen in a horror movie in a very, very long time. To me, it's like borderline generational performance in a horror movie. That like, it's something where like immediately I'm like, that's a star. Make her kind of like the it girl in all of these things for the next like decade plus.
The new Samara Weaving, perhaps.
She's better than Samara Weaving.
I think it's
like this performance is better than anything that she's doing. What?
Navarrette.
Never. See, I didn't know if if it's a.
You just went to fucking Italy.
No, well, because the Americans, they just go Navarrette and the Italians do the Navarrete. So I just wanted to. I didn't know if she's like digging into her Italian roots or what. Regardless, I think that like it is a really like a one-of-one performance. The physicality that she has, like both in her face, which obviously like, you know, there's the memes of like her with the sad face, like me when he says we got food at home, we don't need to get Taco Bell.
Yeah, the
home.
frown.
The frown. But like even just there's the one sequence, and I wish that there was almost more of it in this movie, that we get of her like like shrouded in shadow in the corner of the room, and the way she like moves her body through, which part of that is also Curry with the camera kind of
and
playing.
Have you seen the BTS of her makeup during that?
No.
They did like really cool facial makeup to make her look absolutely terrifying. Like despite the fact that you don't actually see the makeup because she's in shadow, but like it brings out like her bones and her eyes in a freaky way.
That's so, like this is indie filmmaking at its fucking finest right here. It's like this is a movie that was made for peanuts. It was made for goddamn nothing, and like making something that is this. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And she's got like probably contacts in, or maybe not. Maybe it's just like crazy eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's amazing. And the movie generally is just like really well executed. I think maybe part of it is on me, and maybe you too, Ernest. We saw it in like a really packed screening at our local art house theater, and we were like toward the back. And I
blame our server that ruined one of the biggest scenes for me, because I was so locked into this movie that I didn't put my money down for the food. And I guess, it's the Florida Films Festival. They're trying to get everybody paid. It's a whole thing. My bad. I know. But this lady,
God, blaming the working class.
Yeah, but
this lady,
I'm trying to not pay for my meal, and this bitch.
I was gonna pay for it after the movie was over.
Yeah.
I was watching the
This
movie.
idiot making $4.50 an hour.
I wasn't gonna leave without paying. Just let me watch the movie first.
I'll leave without tipping. Yeah.
She goes up to me, like taps me to pay attention to her, to pay for the meal, as like the car smashing head scene is happening.
Oh God!
I'm like, right now? Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't know it was doing that.
Oh man, that sequence is so carnal, man. Like it is.
It just like took me out of it, and I was just like pissed. Great movie though.
You know what I love about this movie? And I'm sorry that happened to you. I invite you to rewatch this movie again in theaters while it's still in theaters, to experience it as it was meant to be seen. I love how mean this movie is.
Yeah,
like it's
nasty.
honestly, Backrooms, I wanted it to be meaner. Like I wanted it to be nastier than this movie is. Like it's really ugly. Like it's really mean-spirited at points that you don't really get a lot of times from American horror films.
I mean, it's a really upsetting and bleak idea.
Well, it's especially, and it's really funny, like reading some of the people who have knocks on it. And I know you have problems with Michael Johnston, and I'll let you kind of talk to those in a moment. But
no, everyone's talking about how great he is. Just kidding. I didn't know his fucking name until you said
Oscar
that.
buzz for Michael Johnston.
Why do you guys hate him so much?
I don't hate him.
I think he's like fine. This movie. Here's the thing.
I don't think he'll be I don't think he'll be in stuff. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in. The thing is that I feel like it's part of the character is that he is supposed to suck. He's supposed to be the most like. I want you to think back to like this, to somebody that you know, or maybe that you don't know, but somebody who's just like so fucking paralyzed by fear of anything that they do, like that they're going to make the wrong move for something.
Hunter, no,
like
I know. I've been that exact person before.
Like, it's
I
just
totally know. Like that's how I was with girls in high school. Like 100%.
Are you saying that you would have given a bad performance as that guy?
I'm saying they're 100%. Like I'm not blaming him entirely. Like you can be that character, but also like be written a little more interesting. 100%. Like he's not interesting. There's nothing.
The movie
He's not
is
dynamic.
Not built. The movie is not built to give.
No,
him
he is a bad. His whole thing is like he's not good at communicating at all and never gets good at it.
And also, not only is he bad communicating, he's a bad dude. Like he gives in the moment that there's an easy way out. That's like, hey, you can do this thing. You're basically like raping this woman, like both like physically and also mentally. Like you are doing like a rape of her as a person.
Yeah.
And like that is what the movie is about.
Exactly. It's just
and
so
I think that
upsetting.
in that way, that is why like it works for me. Like that character that he is like so
he sucks.
Nothing of a guy. That's been the funny thing. People have been just like, God, like I don't like this movie. Like the main guy, like I don't really like get him. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't because you have a soul.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that's on purpose. I wish that it was willing to be a little more direct. I wish that it was there's one moment where he gets truly mean and he's like, what's so bad about being with me?
Yeah. Explore that.
And it's like, oh shit. I was so excited because I was like, we're about to get like a true turn from this guy where like you think that it's a movie where she is the villain and then like we have a full turnaround, and it becomes like that would have been a phenomenal turn, like like almost a twist. It doesn't do that at all.
I mean, I think I get what you're saying for that. For me, by the end, he was very much the villain. Like, especially how the movie ends, where she is like, you know, she fucking obsesses him.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the only way, like the horror on her face. I love the very, very end of this movie. Sorry, spoilers for Obsession. But like the way that this movie ends of like her kind of realization of what's happening, it's like really disgusting and upsetting.
Yeah,
just
when
like
she
her,
like snaps out of it.
yeah, when she finally snaps out of it, just
Insane
like
way to end it.
because she
Yeah.
has like all the memories of everything that's happened. She's been possessed this entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie it takes several moments throughout to let you know, like, hey, she's in there.
She's in there.
The person you're seeing like walk around in her body is not her. But she's aware.
The moment that like she wakes up and talks to Bear while it's right before the face smashing scene in the car where he is like, she's asleep, but is just awake enough to kind of talk to him and just be
It's
like,
awesome.
please kill me.
And that's a scene.
Please just kill me.
That's the scene where she is just like throwing like 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like she's on fire. She's incredible. Like she really is. It didn't strike me as that like generational of a performance, but like thinking back, it's like, well, what's it missing? Like she's really doing a lot, you know. And maybe we were just in the back of a theater that was like kind of loud and
People were really enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I was enjoying
I will
it.
say,
people were really
Like just
into it.
as a movie, it's really funny. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it makes
there's a lot of laughs.
I love the
exactly.
theater that you went to, but if you're towards the back, you can have like the light kind of in your eyes.
No, that's
like,
what-
you can't.
That's
be
what I'm saying.
In it
Yeah,
as
so
Yes,
maybe-
we were literally all the way
Yeah,
in the back.
exactly.
That's not
It's,
a good. You have the overhang. It's not.
and
it's
yet
not a
still
good
like
viewing angle.
still we're taking away a ton of great shit about the movie. Like it is so straightforwardly easy to watch, fun to watch. It's gross, it's fucked up, but it's also really funny. It maintains
It's
that
really
It
funny.
maintains that in a
Yeah.
way that like Get Out does almost. You know what I mean? I think Get Out's way better, but like in that manner where you're like, wow, he is striking. He's on a tightrope of tone throughout the whole thing, every scene, and a lot. This point has been made a lot of times, but it's because it's just true that like he is a sketch comedy guy, and like most of the scenes in this function as individual sketches.
Yeah.
Where like, if not for the context of horror, it would just be a straightforwardly funny sketch. In particular, the scene where all the friends are together and they're playing the game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
great
that's just a
scene.
sketch, you know?
That scene is so good. It's incredible. The moment that like this spins and it lands on the other girl and she just like
Yeah.
picks her up.
She's doing like Tim Robinson level, like physical
really
comedy
is
doing
that.
that. Like it's really
It's
impressive.
so funny. Like
Yeah.
it is an incredibly funny movie. And I don't think I was expecting that. Maybe I should have based on being Curry Barker.
Yeah,
But
he's a funny dude, man.
we got to give our flowers to Danny. Danny he called this years
Dude,
ago.
everyone wants to take credit for this movie, including Danny.
It's mostly Danny,
It's
though.
mostly
Yeah.
Danny though. We gotta
Curry
give
Barker
him-
wants to take a lot of credit. It's mostly Danny.
It's mostly, Danny saw something in this guy years ago.
Well, to be honest, like I've watched his sketches for a lot of years and I've never fully locked in with them because to me, it's a little bit too much of just a Tim Robinson impression straight up in those sketches where he's in them all and he is Tim Robinson. It doesn't help that he has a similar, like very striking look and
he looks insane.
well, and also the intonation of his voice is just like directly like he's doing the voice.
Hey, did you know that Tim Robinson apparently has a background character in Obsession?
Yeah, I saw that.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Like like this.
They're just like boys.
Yeah,
Just is there.
yeah. I'm sure like Curry reached out and he was like, "Hey, you're my fucking idol. Do you want to be in a movie?"
I'm glad that Curry didn't put himself in this movie.
He did.
Yeah.
He's the voice on the phone.
Yeah, but as like a
I'm gonna be
full-on
honest,
character.
because I had not I had seen Cooper Tomlinson in something before, because he's in Mank.
Oh, I was gonna say Curry's videos. He's in every Curry.
Yeah, he's
video.
in all the Curry videos. At first, I did have a half second where I was like, "Is that what Curry Barker looks like?" Because I forgot what he looks like, and then I was like, "Oh no, he's this."
No.
That's not what Curry
also-
Barker looks like.
Well, again, also, I think Cooper Tomlinson equips himself very well in this movie
Oh,
as
yeah.
like a this is not just Curry's friend. This is like a movie actor.
Well, also that's another character where like again to kind of compare this to Backrooms of like the characters that actually have some more meat on the bone. That I actually like kind of the twist of him where it's just like, yeah, no, he's been like fucking
He's been
the
fucking
Nikki
her.
character the whole time because like they all just like are like all work together in this place and like are all keeping
by the way,
it casual
at a
like a
music
Sam
store?
Ash basically like a
A
local
tiny music store that
with 5 employees.
I mean, whatever, that's fine. and also her dad is Andy
Look,
Richter.
they're in California. You know, maybe
They don't need
small
five.
music
It's
stores
just
are doing
it's
better
so
there.
funny when in the beginning of the movie when she's like, dude, work was crazy last night. Like, what are you talking about?
Also, you guys were all there
What,
together.
were like two
I
people
didn't
buying
see a
instruments?
single goddamn customer in there.
Well, you had a kid buying a saxophone. It was nuts.
You have to
had
tell
be-
someone to stop playing Smoke on the Water
They should-
again.
they should just be working at the bar they hang out at. I think.
I don't mind the music store.
I don't mind the music store.
I just think they don't all need to work.
I like
there,
that it's
maybe
well,
like two of them.
I don't know though, because like if I wasn't friends with you guys, who do you see the most in your life? It's just your coworkers, especially whenever you're in like your early 20s.
Yeah.
Whenever we were all lurking at a bowling alley that shouldn't be named.
Hey,
we
that would have
mostly
been
just
cool. Obsession, but it's a bowling alley.
It's at a bowling alley. The cat is
Oh, don't remind me
so
about the
upset.
cat. Oh
like,
my god.
That's the principal thing why I'm like worried about showing this movie to Gaia is because
No,
I'm like, I think
absolutely
Gaia
not.
would actually really love a lot of this movie. But
Yeah.
the fact is, it's not just like one scene that you can hide it from. The
No,
cat
it's-
keeps coming back.
It's a couple scenes.
Feeding the cat.
And they do the
No.
fucking they do the South Park thing of like, you just ate your parents.
Bro.
Scott Tenorman just ate
It's
your
awesome.
parents.
That moment is
That's
awesome.
so fucked up.
So generally, like I was saying earlier with Backrooms, when you usually make short form content, you have to figure out how to fill out a feature. One issue that I think the movie has is redundancies in scenes. And that's to be expected. Again, like that's fine. It's just and you have to have the first cat thing. It has to happen early because more cat stuff keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that that's like kind of the first thing she does is like the most fucked up shit. She like digs up the cat. It makes the next three things that she does not surprising or scary almost because you're like,
There's
she
no
already
ramp up.
she already did something worse than that.
Yeah.
Like there's supposed to be sort of a build.
Yeah.
And so that kind of bumped on me a little bit, but I am nitpicking. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like it's still, each of the scenes individually still work. It just is a matter of like, I just saw her do something worse. Like,
I do know what you mean. Digging up the cat is
like that happens like up front.
Yeah, I mean,
so like the
That's
next like
the
three,
first night.
yeah, the next couple things are just like, oh, that's when she yells at the restaurant. It's like, yeah, whatever. She dug up the cat.
I
Like, I don't give a
understand.
fuck.
I understand the complaint of like the sequencing of it, but I think that just the fact that the movie like never really tries to do another thing, like it's like the whole movie is just this one thing, just this girl being obsessed, and it never really gets old. Like, yeah, you could reorder some things, but we're never
I
really
wouldn't cut out a scene though.
yeah,
from this.
we're never really like introducing some other subplot. Like, yeah, there's the girl, which shout out to the girl who plays Sarah.
Megan Lawless.
Just
She's
Great.
great.
awesome performance.
Great. Yeah.
And it's
And
that's,
you think the movie's gonna go there,
No,
and then she gets fucking head smashed immediately.
that is a great bit of writing.
Yeah.
That is a great like playing with expectations, like hinting at
That's how you write a
Hinting at
fourth character in a movie.
yeah, it's just like hinting at like a new tree of story that's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like
It's like,
that's
nope.
that's a great bit.
Nikki said, "No, this movie's about me."
That shit's awesome. Like that rocks.
But that's just like one of those things of like, if you were a good screenwriter, you don't just write the main actor. You don't even write the main two actors. You have to at least have a couple of branches there that we can like fall back on as some kind of supporting cast that is
Yeah.
here.
I also love that Cooper Tomlinson just gets $1 billion. It's really
Yeah.
funny.
I thought it was gonna crush him.
No, I mean, yeah, it's like goofy and in like a moment that like where things are getting really serious. But like I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I
Really
thought that was
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like and then like he shows up later and he's like, dude, that was really $1 billion. Knocking on the door. Like that's really funny.
And just dies.
Yeah. That's fun.
Is the lesson of this movie just don't make a wish?
Well,
It's be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
You just
but
might
it's
get
like,
it.
is
You
it
just
re-
might get it.
Is it really just like don't even wish because it's the monkey paw will curl?
Well, it's a little bit monkey paw curling. It's a little bit, I mean, it's kind of a movie just about free will, about like what happens whenever you're taking away free will from another person.
Don't be a creep.
Yeah, just don't be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
just say you like her. She literally asks him if he likes her.
It's that simple. That is the thing.
I'll
that
tell you
is-
though, that
Yeah, but her response wasn't it wasn't going to be good.
No, I feel like it was.
No, here's the thing.
Because she was sleeping with the other guy.
No. Here's the thing. She definitely also would have slept with him.
Yeah,
but
she
the thing is,
also
they're just wanting to keep things casual.
I think she likes him.
Yeah. Like
I think she was down with it.
They should have all just fucked each other.
Yeah.
Just getting a four-way cuddle
That's the
bottle.
message. Same with Backrooms.
Yeah, just fuck your homies.
Well, no. He had some other problems.
He should have. I
with
bet
his wife.
he was fucking all those people in that
We
room.
didn't even mention when he like scalps the fucking lady and puts her
that's cool.
hair on Renata.
You think they wasn't fucking?
Here's the thing. Yeah, if he's taking bites out of them,
Yeah.
he definitely tried other things first.
You can stab him and you can.
How many things? How many things do you do? Yeah. How many things do you do to someone before you know you can like peel them apart? So
is that like third date?
So yeah, I generally I feel that I'm being nitpicky, like when I gave it like 3.5 stars, but it just feels like
it was also in the middle of the Florida Film
well, that's also what
Festival.
also what I give like a movie that I think is really solid. Like that, it's to me it feels like a really straightforward, solid movie. I so badly just in my head wanted more of a clear turn where he just becomes like a true villain, even though he is.
Yeah.
But like a lot of like the general audience clearly needed that. Like they are not grasping that part. A lot of people are just like, bitches are crazy.
I don't know.
I know you don't have to care about that, but
just for me, it was so clear. And maybe I'm just like somebody who's like learned.
Would it not be more interesting though if like, because he has one line where it hints at like something truly different and then it just doesn't? Wouldn't it be a little more interesting if he like really goes on a thing of like, no, I'm keeping her here?
Not to call back to
That's
like
cool.
our episode though that we did as people are listening to this a week ago about Disclosure Day, but maybe it is like me it's me filling in the blanks for the script that is there. That is like, and I think that like whenever the movie has enough around it, I'm more willing to do that than with something like Backrooms where the script itself, it's not even giving me enough to lift off of. So like it just all feels very empty and fragile around it that there isn't enough for me to like just, I'll just go do a bunch of lore research after the movie to like
for sure.
read up on this. This movie, like I got the gist that Bear sucked.
Yeah.
Like I got
Yeah,
that.
I
I didn't
know.
need that spelled out for me.
I know, but
now do I think it could have been better? I do think that you're right. That like if we would have had maybe another scene in there to have of him making a full turn.
A real turn where like maybe she is like in a more in a more real way, she's like a little bit more in control of the body and like he is coming after her. Like it totally flips. Like that would be a way to like actually write like a real thing into the screenplay. That's not just like scene, same scene over and over. I just felt like I was watching a lot of the same scene.
I think that just that one scene that we get of like the what's so bad about like being with me, that was enough that like I kind of like that. It was a little bit ambiguous where a dumb guy could be like, man, maybe the bad guy ain't so bad. He just kind of wished for a girl.
He's
like,
lonely.
He's just a lonely guy.
Like
and like most people who like have critical thinking skills are like, that's psychotic. This man's a psychopath.
I know. It's not like for the purpose of explanation. I think it would just be for the purpose of something interesting happening.
Maybe Curry is trying to like point the finger a little bit and be like, there's a lot of guys out there that think that they're just like harmless, lonely, like sensitive.
This is kind
nice
of a movie
guys.
about like
it's an incel
and
movie.
they're actually
it's about
fucking
incels.
weirdo.
Yeah,
freaks.
it's an
about
incel
incels
thing.
and it's about like the like sensitive male kind of guys that are out there like hyper permeating on the internet of just like the God, I guess I'll just be like permanent friend zoned. In reality, friend zoning isn't a thing, fellas. Just
also don't equate your like inability to communicate with someone that you're friends with like this like unrequited love that you're owed.
yeah, it's romanticizing something that like is entirely one-sided because he's never communicated anything the other way.
And it also again a big part of the reason the movie hits really hard is that it does like get at relationship dynamics that everyone can recognize to an extent. You know what I mean? Like we've all been the crazy one and we've all been the normal one. Like, you know what I mean? Like it gets, there are a million things that you could just be, while watching it, like other people around us and at our table, we were just being like, oh, me, you, me,
that me for wheel.
Yeah. Like it has that in it. And I think, being less specific with like the characters allows you to sort of project yourself onto it. So that's probably a benefit. Like it's just like it's a super relatable in a lot of ways movie.
I did tape the door shut with duct tape completely one time. It's just something you do sometimes. Just a little quirk.
Yeah. One time, Gaia had to go out for work, and so I just stood there and waited for her to get back, and I pissed and shit my little pants.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry, Dad. I'll go clean up. I'll go bathe."
That was such an upsetting scene.
It's really upsetting.
The base like concept, like the base wish made and like, you know, monkey's paw fulfillment thing, it also like is a thing that is like sort of worth mulling. I think that, you know what I mean, that like strikes people. Like I think it's working on people. The idea of like you say you want like unconditional obsessive love.
He does literally say like, I want her to love me more than any person has ever loved anyone in the whole world.
Yeah, like he's like a fucking baby.
Hey, don't do that.
You're like 5. He's
and then he doesn't even like it.
Yeah, but also
he's like annoyed of it.
He also though likes
Own
it
bitch.
enough to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting.
There is that montage where he's like, well, I'm going to do this.
And it's
no, you know what's great? That is a smart piece of writing. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but a smart piece of writing is everybody immediately just being like, hey, this is weird. Obviously, she has a lot going on. And like, Bear, are you taking advantage of her? Like, they clock it immediately that like something.
Everyone knows that he's
on.
Being weird. Like for sure.
Yeah.
That like that all works. And just, like the base concept of it is very like, you know, a lot of people have been in a relationship like that where it's like, oh no, like
her grandpa died.
she was
just feeling pretty
like
vulnerable.
It's just like we've all had those things where it's like, I thought that I wanted someone who like truly loved me like this. Turns out that the only reason that you would love like that is if there's something really, really wrong with you, you know? And so it tells a story that I feel like teenagers almost need to see and are seeing. They're seeing it in fucking droves.
I actually think that's really smart. It does kind of remind you of like a teenage love, even though this is shot with like 20-year-olds. Like it's
I'm not going to say the name, but you guys know the name I'm thinking of.
Do you have somebody from your past, Drew? I can't put my finger on it.
I miss my cat.
This movie, I was looking at the financials of it, and it's like the numbers, they do this chart where like it shows you the trajectory of movies that open at a similar range and like how they do. This movie is made like 8 times as much as similar movies that open. This opened at 17 million,
which
if you track
by the way,
curve,
that in itself it made 17 times its budget.
Yeah,
when it opened. That's already crazy. And then it just kept going forward.
I mean, this is, with like not an exaggeration, one of the greatest success stories in the entire history of Hollywood.
All kinds of weird ass records.
Because like it's not just about like the money that's going to end up at like 300+ million. This movie cost $750,000 to make. That is over 300x its budget.
It's interesting too because
that's stupid.
Well, it's in a place where it's like, it's not quite like Paranormal Activity or like Blair Witch, where like you can see it's like intentionally looks like shit almost, and that's part of like what's scary. Yeah. It's not like that, but it also doesn't look like big money.
Yeah,
it like there I think chunks of it where like it's shot a certain way, or it's shot like in particularly super dark or very stationary in a small space because that was all they could do, and that does kind of play into the vibe of the movie. So
that was another thing that I wanted to mention is just the way of using budget as it is for all the flowers that we kind of threw at Kane Parsons, deservingly so. Curry Barker is also somebody who like he directs the absolute fuck out of this. It's some of the best use of shadow that I've seen in a movie since Hereditary.
There's there's a ton of Hereditary.
There was honestly like I could have used, even if we're gonna like add a couple more scenes of this, if we're gonna make it even more of a traditional horror movie of like her in the shadows and everything like that, like how she moves. It was giving me flashbacks to Toni Collette and Hereditary. Like it's very unique. It's one of those things where like the camera takes a beat to pause on a scene, and you have that really cool moment in the movie theater where people kind of at different points see her in the shot, which is it's really, really smart filmmaking.
Yeah, it's Yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, and again, I think it uses the limitations really well. Where like that is a reason that we are seeing maybe a little bit redundant scenes. Like we only have so many sets to go through. You know, we only have so many.
Yeah, keeping it small.
Yeah, like, and that's so it's impressive in a way that like it is so effective front to back, and it keeps you so locked in with it.
They go crazy with the gore though.
Well,
great use of.
Oh yeah. Well, and at the end, it finally drives home the point of the opposite side of things of the message I was talking about, that like teenagers should see. The same is true of the other thing, is like it's not worth being super obsessed with someone. Like, you know, it by the end of the movie, you get that side of it as well. Like where it's like, oh no, like this was a huge mistake almost, if you were to read it in a literal way. So I don't know. Everything is tied up so neatly. You get just enough of the magic. You know, it doesn't feel the need to be.
Yeah,
it's so not. It's so not complicated.
Like done a whole lore dump, explain exposition bullshit on the wishing willow,
the one wish willow.
And this, I mean, this movie, we
don't need that.
Yeah, no, it gives you so little that it's to the extent that when he goes back to the store, it's a different employee.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny.
Also, the person just like the freaking out of the
right
one
there.
wish willow being on there. It's like, oh, fucking there, just chill out.
Don't be shocked if this movie goes into the awards race. It happened with Weapons last year.
It's true.
It could happen again here.
We're
in a bit of a moment right now with horror. Like something seems to be happening. There seems to be a shift. I think we haven't said the words Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu yet during this podcast.
We're saving that for like our big extravagance.
Well, that's why we took a month off, because I was watching it 46 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's our next actor series is Grogu.
Grogu, yeah.
After Denzel.
The inflection point that I think we just went through of like that movie absolutely tanking, and then Obsession and Backrooms like rocket ship mode, like lifting off.
Good things are happening, and
we're in the middle of it. We don't know exactly how it's going to shake out. I mean, Resident Evil is coming. Mm-hmm. There's a couple other things sort of on the horizon that will tell us. You know, in terms of, we were just chatting about It Ends, a movie that we saw last year that's getting released by Neon this fall. There might be a shift here in terms of like what audiences want, what Gen Z wants. They seem to be interested in movies, just not movies featuring The Mandalorian and Grogu. So Curry Barker, Kane Parsons, I think they tapped into something, and it's going to be very exciting to see what's next. So we can wrap it up there. 2 meaty episodes for you this week. I'll be on vacation while you're listening to this. And when we get back, we'll have more in store for you. More new releases, more Spielberg, Denzel Washington, with the continuation of our series with the film Malcolm X. So thank you all. Please rate and review and subscribe, like and comment. Let us know your thoughts on Obsession and Backrooms. Join the Discord, patreon.com/WeBoughtAMic. Thank you to all the donors who support this podcast. We'll see you next week with a special Spielberg check-in with our mid-year draft, annual tradition, and Malcolm X. Stay out of the back rooms. Or maybe we were already there, always.
Mm-hmm. Avoid those one-wish willows.
What a willy women all.
Crack.
Bye.